Good morning, this is Shane from IVEK Corporation Technical Support. What I have here is a Henkel Corporation Loctite 300D table. You'll notice here on the manufacturer's label it does say that it's 24 volts. So this machine does have a 24 volt output on the I/O. That may differ with other tables. The manual I'm using rather is for a Fisnar F4000 series. And there's my pinouts for the start signal. I'm tying pin 14 as an output for the negative and using plus 24 to tie in on pin 24. And this is going to a multi-spense. So on the back of the robot, I have pin 14 tied into the black for minus and pin 24 for 24 volts on the front. On the multiplex, I have it referenced and in dispense mode. And on the logic I/O connector, I have my black, my minus on pin 2, and my positive incoming 24 volts on pin 1. To test this, since I do not have a program, I'm using the teach pendant. I'll try and get a view here. So first, I press F2, and that gets me into the menu screen. And on the first part of the menu screen, I'm looking for the utility menu, which is number 6. You can either scroll down to it or go directly by pressing the number. Then test function and input output number 3. And now you'll see all your inputs are active, all your outputs are not active. So when I choose which output I want to activate, I'm going to press number 1 for 1, 2 for 2, so on, so on. You'll see when I press 2, the second bit there goes active. And that should be outputting 24 volts on output 2. I have the multiplex trigger tied into output 1. So when I press number 1 and it goes active, I should be dosing with the multiplex. Number 1. So it does indeed cycle. Now if I come back to here, I should see 24 volts across those 2 pins when the output is activated. So I'm going to pull the pins out just a little bit, just so I can get my meter leads on there. Black to minus, red to plus. And you'll notice I have minimal voltage, if any. Now if we activate the output and send a dispense through, go ahead. There's the 24 volts, and it will remain on as long as the output is on. The multiplex will only take this input once until it's deactivated and reactivated, so we have to go back to 0, just like a standard trigger. That will work for the trigger, and for the inputs it will also work for the ready. One other option if you don't have 24 volts is using this setup here. So what we're doing is we're using the dispenser output on the back of the robot. Which is this here. So I believe it's pins 1 and 2. Confirm that with a manual before hooking it up. Pin 1 will be your positive. So your red wire will go in there and pass the 24 volts through, and then your black wire will go directly out. And that is another way to trigger it. However, you're still going to need your 24 volts if you want to do ready and fault on the I/O connector.